The Daytona 500 is meant to represent the ultimate prize. It is meant to be that competition you mark on your schedule throughout the winter months. The event that reminds you why you developed a passion for NASCAR initially. However, what we experienced this time, it was not merely dramatic. It was not simply wild. It seemed as though something more significant transformed directly before our eyes. And here is the reality: this was not solely concerning a final lap collision. This appeared as though competitors finally reached a tipping point, as if tolerance was exhausted. As if the irritation we have been hearing murmurs about for months simply erupted beneath the lights at Daytona. Something occurred in those concluding moments that has individuals within the garage questioning more than a single decision. It has them questioning the trajectory of the sport itself. And if you are invested in where NASCAR is progressing, you need to listen to this. Before we begin, do me a quick favor, hit that like button, subscribe to our channel. We are a new platform. We are working toward growing our community. And if you are the type of supporter who lives and breathes this sport every single week, this is your destination. Now, let's discuss what truly transpired. The turmoil commenced on the final lap, and I am telling you, this was not merely another massive crash. This was an incident that revealed everything competitors have been silently frustrated about. Approaching the white flag, it was Carson Hocevar in the lead. He maintained control. Then he gets spun into the barrier. No immediate caution flag. The pack continues charging forward. Chase Elliott surges ahead, exiting turn 4. For a brief moment, it appears as though he is about to claim the most significant victory of the year, and then he gets collected in a wreck. Behind him, Riley Herbst attempts a defensive maneuver. Brad Keselowski has a tremendous run, and I mean an enormous run. And suddenly, it is simply metal crumpling everywhere, vehicles colliding across the finish line. Joey Logano crosses the stripe in reverse. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. scraping against the wall. Keselowski limping home in 5th position with the front end demolished and somehow navigating through the smoke like a scene from a film. Tyler Reddick crosses the line first. But here is what impacted me the most significantly. He did not even celebrate. He stated he was uncertain if he had won. He was not sure if the caution lights were activated before he reached the start-finish line. Imagine winning the most significant race of your lifetime and being hesitant to smile because you believe it might be revoked. That communicates everything about how chaotic and uncertain that conclusion felt. And this was not merely another victory for Reddick. This was personal. This is an individual who grew up in California, never missing a Daytona 500 broadcast. A youngster sitting with his family every Sunday dreaming of simply competing here. He discussed testing an ARCA vehicle at Daytona for the initial time and thinking it felt unbelievable. Now, fast forward. He is a Cup Series competitor racing for Michael Jordan with expectations to secure victory every single year. He acknowledged last season was challenging. No victories, a drought, examining himself as a team, combating pressure, combating uncertainty, and on top of that, his newborn child dealing with health complications. He stated the only occasion he had ever experienced emotions like this was winning the pole at the Charlotte Roval when his son was in the hospital. Consider that for a moment. While we are debating about blocks and turmoil online, this individual is carrying family difficulties, pressure from the organization, and the burden of 3 generations of sacrifice. His parents, his grandparents, all invested in this aspiration. And he mentioned before the competition, his son asked him, "Are you finally going to win this race?" That is not merely a trophy, that is legacy. But here is where this narrative transforms into something more significant than one emotional triumph. Because the anger inside that garage, it was genuine. Elliott did not conceal his irritation. He explicitly stated, "We were leading the Daytona 500 exiting turn 4 approaching the checkered flag and did not win. So you tell me, that is disbelief, that is heartbreak." Keselowski, he was furious. Described the maneuver as one of the most foolish things he has ever witnessed. Stated the block from the number 35 vehicle eliminated everyone for no justification. He believed he had the momentum to potentially win or at least compete, and it was removed by what he perceived as a desperate, unnecessary action. Herbst defended himself, stating he selected his lane, got pushed, and was simply attempting to win the competition. And Reddick even mentioned he does not win that race without Herbst, that Herbst did everything correctly for himself in that moment. So who is correct? That is where this becomes a sport-wide discussion, because throughout the entire race competitors were not racing at maximum effort. They were conserving fuel, lifting off the throttle, riding at half throttle, sitting in tight, glued-together packs, and that is where the next-gen vehicle enters the conversation. The current configuration has made superspeedway competition almost too balanced. Equal drag, equal horsepower, equal speed. The vehicles are so stable that competitors barely have to lift in the corners, and when nobody lifts, the pack remains stacked, 3 wide, 4 wide, inches apart. Overtaking does not originate from raw driving anymore. It originates from pit strategy, from conserving fuel, from timing chaos. Even race-winning team owner Denny Hamlin stated it plainly. They might need to increase velocities and make handling significant again. He discussed removing spoiler, slowing vehicles in the corners so competitors have to lift. More lifting means more separation. More separation means more skill, more risk, less pack dependency. He even suggested the idea of bringing the clash back to Daytona and allowing competitors to experiment with a configuration that eliminates fuel conservation completely. Simply hang on and drive. That is a substantial statement because currently the feeling inside the garage is that competitors are trapped. They cannot separate. They cannot create momentum without assistance. You require pushes, you require teammates, you require someone else to move first. Zane Smith even stated it. The assistance was not there. That is Daytona. Now, if the assistance is not there, your momentum dies. And when the most significant race of the year concludes with half the top 5 crashing across the finish line, when competitors are openly calling moves foolish, when the winner does not even know he won, that is not merely Daytona madness, that is a warning. This sport might be standing at a crossroads. Do you accept this as the new normal, chaotic pack racing, fuel-saving chess matches that explode on the final lap? Or do you change the vehicle and risk something different to bring back handling, separation, and individual skill? Because if this is what the Daytona 500 becomes every year, the discussion is only going to become more intense. And as a supporter who watches every single week, I am conflicted. The drama was incredible. My heart was racing, but I also understand why competitors feel like something is incorrect. The greatest race of the year should not leave this many individuals frustrated. So now I want to hear from you. Was that simply classic Daytona chaos, or is the next-gen package gradually transforming the biggest race in NASCAR into a ticking time bomb? Share your thoughts in the comments. Let us discuss it. And if you appreciated this type of honest fan-to-fan analysis, hit like, subscribe to our channel. We are a new platform working to grow our community, and if you love genuine NASCAR conversations without the corporate filter, you are in the right place. Because if this race was any indication of what is coming this season, prepare yourself. The storm might just be beginning. It hurts.